Hey, family fun by A Crew. It's your busy mom on the go in the shower, and I am back here with the new. I am back here with another video. So, guys, today I am going to kind of discuss, and then this will carry on another day because my battery is low. But I did want to start the conversation because it's been sitting heavy on my mind, and I've been putting it off for a while. So it's not about anything. It's been 3 long years. So it has been 3 long years of my family and I being homeless. And my daughter has totally forgot about this one particular school that they attended, which is back here. It saddens me because they wasn't there that long, but they really, really enjoyed that school. The school that they attend now, they really love. But that school that I just showed you guys behind me, or in front of me now, that school is where I felt like it was going to be where they will really, really succeed, which this school may be it as well. But when we moved, or when we had to move, in 2019, January 2019, that was a very, very, very hard time for me. Very hard time. And I can speak about it more with ease now. But up until about 6 months ago, whenever I did speak on it, it made me cry. I just burst out somewhere along the way with tears, okay? And I have gotten better. I have gotten stronger. I've always been a strong woman. I grew up with a strong mother. Never went through this, so this is the first time for me. But this has been a really hard, long, challenging, but challenging, scary, fun, joyful, fearing, whatever all those words come along with it. I'm gonna enhance my vocabulary. But okay, so oh gosh, where was I left? I left off. So we had to move January 2019, which was an awful hard time for me. I have the house that I was in there. Oh, I look like my mom, y'all. I was in there for 8 years, and never did I see the moment that it would be a day that I had to move, because I really felt like the home was going to be it for us until I was ready to move. My children had so many memories in that house. So when we had to move, due to my landlord wanted me to pay $3,100, and if housing at the time when I had it wasn't paying him due to him not doing the things that he needed to do, then why should I, right? Not at all. And there was so many damages and things going on with that house that he didn't want to fix. So if housing at the time wasn't going to fix it, pay him, so why should I? Okay, so now time goes on. So let's see, January, February, March. So about 3 months I was paying for hotels. My brother's girlfriend, she was letting us use her discount, which was really, really, really helping me to pay for the rooms. Okay, so about 3 months we stayed in a hotel. Then it became a little bit too much for me, and then I moved to Fresno. So somewhere along the lines, I find out I was pregnant with the little baby, and that made it worse for me. It made it hard for me. I couldn't think straight. I couldn't do anything straight. It was just a lot going on mental wise, in my own thoughts, brain, head. Oh my goodness, it was a lot for me, and I'm trying to handle all of that with no form of help, like a therapist to help me talk it out, help me get through. I manage everything on my own, and even though today I am not where I want to be, I am definitely a lot better. So we stayed at my brother's house until, I'll say, probably July of 2019. He stayed in an apartment, and the management actually kind of understood our situation and allowed us to stay. But because the complex was of our older crowd and I had a lot of children, it didn't work, especially for the simple fact that I was not on the lease. So I do thank them very much because they didn't have to do that. So July, August, let's see, kids attended school there as well. Then we moved back, and now we're back. No, so when we moved back, we were sleeping in my brother's van. We were sleeping in my car. We were sleeping in my brother's van, and then we would sleep in my car, and then we'll sleep in their dad's car. And he and I were kind of going through our own thing as well. This was a lot for me, and I was just taking everything out on him and just making our relationship a little bit worse. So as time go on, we end up staying at a hotel. And then over time, we became a legal resident because they allow for us to stay in the same room past 30 days. And here in California, once you allow somebody to stay in the same facility with past 30 days, they are a legal tenant. So the new guy they hired, he tried to use me to get him a higher position, which I knew that's what he was doing, but he didn't know his laws. Okay, so he moved here from Florida. No, I think so. I believe, I want to say he came from Florida. He was like a pretty boy guy, pretty boy. Okay, so oh gosh, what was I saying, guys? Oh, so he didn't know his law, and so he tried to use the fact that I had a lot of kids and too many people in the room and this, that, and the other. See, he didn't know his business, and so him trying to be shady got him loss of a job and me a long-term stay there at the hotel. So over time, then they attended this school right there. And when I say they really, really enjoyed the school, they really enjoyed the school. They had a short period there, but the way the setup was, the way the teachers, like, there was no problem at all. Actually, with Bryce, he does have a special needs, but because I was dealing with so much, I didn't want to accept the fact that he does have a special need, and I am going to get him evaluated for it, because in the long run it will help him, especially when I'm not here on this earth anymore. I want to make sure that my kids are set up to where even if he still wants to work, he can still get help if need be, and just won't be thrown to the streets. And you know, my thinking has to change. My thinking changed. It was just that I was internally going through so much, and I'm just now coming back to my norm. Even though I'm not all the way where I want to be, I'm definitely better than where I was. I remember there were times when I would pick the kids up from school and just go sit. It's called the marina, and we would go sit by the marina, and I let them play. And there's a bay of water and rocks, and I would just sit on the rocks, just crying. I mean, just bawling my eyes out, like, why, God, why are you doing this to me? Why me? What have I done? Like, I'm just angry and questioning him, and just going through so much. The kid, it was to the point to where we looked homeless, and people would ask if they can feed my kids, if they can give my kids some clothes. And that was so embarrassing to me, because I have never been through that before. My kids have never looked that bad. I've never looked that bad. But for someone to offer to pay for my kids some food, we were really looking really, really bad. And I know it was bad because I started on a book which I need to finish, but I started on the book, and the lady who's writing the book at the time, she inserted a picture, and she had never seen my kids, never. And the picture she posted was all girls and one boy. And when I tell you the little girl, little girl's hair was all over her hair like my daughter's hair was, from me not having um, all the hair products to do her hair frizzing up, me not being able to wash her hair like I usually do, them looking motley, them looking as if their mother couldn't care for them. Their mother couldn't care for them, but that's exactly how they look. Even though today they are not at their best, they do not, and I know they do not look like how they were looking. And that hurt me so bad when that woman put that in that book that I actually stopped the book. I stopped paying her because she hit me so hard with an image of my children, and she had no idea what my children looked like. But that's how bad I was. That's how bad off we were, and I hated it with a passion. I hated, I'm not going to say her, but I hated the idea of her doing that, and so I stopped the book. I stopped working on the book because I saw what we looked like. I stopped working on the book because I saw what my children looked like, and I didn't like it. And at the time I couldn't make change because I hadn't had the baby, and even once I did have the baby, so let me go. So then over time their kids were enjoying the school, and then eventually I didn't want to put up with trying to be evicted because the guy who was running the hotel was saying he was going to evict me, acting as if he was going to court. So anyway, make a long story short, he called the police. The police told him no, they cannot evict us. I mean, they can't put us out. They would just have to go through the eviction process. So we stayed there for some months. So if you guys go back and look at some old videos, you'll see me cooking at the hotel. The kids swimming at the hotel. You'll see a backpack, back to school backpack video. Like, you will see videos of us there at the hotel. But my kids actually enjoyed it. We were living it up at the hotel. That was a good place for them. That was like a vacation time for them. But for me, it was awful. I was hurting. I was so glad when my sister came. She kind of rescued me mentally, and she would take the kids, and it would give me time to think, but I was still pregnant, and I couldn't think. I couldn't get myself together. So over time we leave. She goes into a shelter. So I'm like, you know what if this man really does evict us? Which in actuality, he never went through the process. So we could have stayed there longer, but I just didn't want to go through that because I knew eventually we were going to need somewhere to stay. And if I rent, I didn't want to have that on my record. So we end up going to, so my friend had been telling me from church for a while to go to the city where we were raised and get some help over there. And I was like, I just kept telling myself I'm not going to do that. I didn't want to go back to where I lived. So eventually I went back to where I lived. And when I went back there, it led us to the shelter. I met this black lady from the Black Infant Health Care. That lady stuck with me. She was going to the hospital, come see me in the hospital when I got admitted. And that's where I lost my voucher. I lost my voucher being admitted to the hospital with baby right there. And the doctors wanted to sit in there and make me their test piggy, but they didn't want to do what I asked. And then that's how they got kicked out of this school as well, because the hospital I was in was in Palo Alto, and the school that they were in was in Fremont, and that was too far. And the money that Stanford has definitely could afford it to get my kids to school, but As long as they got what they wanted, they didn't care. So that's where I lost my voucher. I couldn't fight for my voucher. I couldn't do anything because I was hospitalized. My children and I lived in the hospital for 3 weeks. They slept on the cots. The three bigger ones slept on the cot, and the two smaller ones slept in the bed with me while I was pregnant. And that was the worst thing ever because my sister, while she was in the shelter, she would bring the kids food. The hospital wasn't feeding the kids. The hospital didn't feed the kids food, so my sister would come every day to bring the kids food until I advocated and put my foot down for my kids to eat at the hospital. Guys, by now I would be boo-hooing. Like when I say this is the best feeling ever, this is the best feeling ever. And I want to say that I previously recorded this while crying. And I know I've been all on Facebook while crying, begging and pleading for help. People will come on and watch me and listen, but no one really said they would help. And the few people who did said they would help. I think I pushed them kind of away at the time, but didn't know it. But the help that they were talking about wasn't the help that I was talking about. But I didn't know how to portray that. I didn't know how to speak that out because it was just so much for me going on. I ended up getting mad at so many people. I'm not mad anymore, but I ended up getting mad at so many people. So once I told them that I'm leaving the hospital, because they called CPS. So CPS was involved. And the lady was like, you know what? After talking to you, hearing your story, it doesn't feel like you have neglected your kids, none whatsoever. It doesn't seem like you have been negligent on your part at all. I said, no, I'm not negligent for my kids. I said, if you call my kids' school right now, they will tell you my kids have never missed school. They may have been late, but they never missed school. And since being here, my kids have not been fed, have not been to school, and I lost my voucher. And to this day, they are still calling CPS out to check on the baby because I was high risk. And he was born early, lack of oxygen, so they knew he was going to need speech therapy. So, yeah, the CPS has been called out to this day. But I am doing everything that I can. And even though it hurts, even though I am not where I want to be, what I can say that after being hospitalized, they put us in the hotel, and then we moved into shelter. We were there for some months, almost a year, and then my father passed away, and then we were invited to move to Georgia by a family member that was straight BS, and were not worth not my while. Even though once we got there, I actually loved the vibe there, but the landlord wanted to sell the house. The cousin was shady, and then you know how they say karma is a bitch, because she was working on her mother's house, put so much money into it, and then she did what she did to us, and then that house that she worked on was taken from her. So, you know, God don't like ugly and is not too fond of pretty. And next time, before you pull some BS on someone, make sure that your ducks are in a row. Make sure you have everything clear slate on your plate. And then still, then still you never know what God has planned for you. So you can't treat people ugly and then expect to get treated nice. Oh no, it doesn't work that way. So now we're back at the same shelter where we were the first time. And I went back to church. I'm engaged now. And at first it was like, well, why get married? Why buy a ring? Why do all these things when you are not even in a place of your own? Like, you don't even have a window to piss in and a pot to throw it out of. So why go, um, why and go and do something like this? So I'm gonna tell you why. I was raised in church, and the church that I'm attending now is not the church that I was raised in, and I was a little apprehensive, but it's working. It is working for me. It is doing what it needs to do to get my spirits back up, to get me going, to me feeling and looking good. I'm not all the way where I want to be, y'all, but I'm definitely feeling better. And I'm just like, all this time we've been together, the bad and the good, we've been sticking through and keep having babies. And, but not no more. But what are we doing? We're not living right. We're not doing anything right. And in God's eye. And I feel like if we were to probably live right, do right, get right, be right, see right, think right, pray right, all those things, then some good will come. And so I put my foot down. I put in my demands, y'all. But who's to say once this happens, it may not still go clear. But I really feel like things are held off for a reason. And until you start working on it and fixing it, then everything is not going to come together. Pieces of the puzzle are still going to be missing. Things will not, voids are still going to be voided. Like, it's going to be a lot going on. So I do want to thank the man up above for allowing me to get through this whole video with no crying. I am very thankful that I got through this, because for 3 years, a little less than 3 years, I'll say 2 years and 9 months, 2 years, 8 months, 7 months, something like that, I was not able to talk to anyone about my story without crying. But I needed to heal. That's been 3 years. I needed that. Whatever it is that I was going through and before, I don't know, but I needed that. And so now I'm staying off of YouTube. I'm sorry. I'm staying off of Facebook, because that's where I was running my business. And I can't run a business if I'm not mentally where I need to be. So I totally put my business on halt. I am now seeing a therapist 2 times a week. And I've been saying I was going to do this for over 8 years, and Lord knows things happen when it needs to. But I've definitely been saying I need to do this for at least 7, 8 years for sure. And it's probably been a little bit longer, but I took the steps to get me together because nobody else is. And it feels damn good, okay? And I'm putting my money into a savings account, even though I know that's not probably the best thing for some, but it's the best for me until I learn more. I do invest my money into other things as well. And maybe one day, getting to know someone, it would turn into investing into real estate, okay? But my plan is to buy a home for my children. My plan is to have as much money as for them on this earth before I leave. And if it takes me to hustle and bustle every day of the doggone week, years to come, then while I'm breathing, that's just what it's going to be. So each one of my kids have their own bank accounts, and whatever else there's some money is for them, will be for them. All right, guys, I'm out of here. If you have any questions, please comment down below. If you have any thoughts, please comment down below. Don't forget to like, share. Don't forget to like, comment down below, and subscribe to our video. Bye. Hey, Family Fun by A Crew. I'm gonna need you to do me a little favor, y'all. Do me a little favor right quick. I'm gonna need y'all to thumbs up this video. And I'm gonna also need y'all to comment down below because I need to know if you guys enjoy your girl. Listen, I need y'all to leave something down below. Leave something down below. And then also, if you like me, you know, this personality girl right here. If you like me, please subscribe. And over time, my channel is going to get to where it's going to be. And I don't know where that's going to be at right now because I am a newbie. And I do want to shout out all the new subscribers. I am going to do a video for that. So guys, definitely comment down below. You guys are getting me closer and closer to the 1K subscribers. So guys, keep on subscribing, keep on liking the videos, and definitely comment down below.